Moving along here, former Trump attorneys turned possible witnesses could be on the path to getting their records wiped clean.
Sidney Powell, Kenneth Chesborough, and Jenna Ellis all pleaded guilty in Georgia's elections case. But the plea does not mean that they will forever be labeled criminals. Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is live for us outside of the Fulton County Courthouse in downtown Atlanta tonight.
So, Doug, explain what the First Offender Act is all about.
Right, well, let's start by noting that it's not just available to high-profile defendants. This is available to anyone who commits a crime for the first time here in the state of Georgia. And what it does is after your time is served, as long as you have not had any missteps or committed any other crimes, once that's over, whether it be probation or jail time, that conviction is essentially wiped clean as if it never happened.
That you are, I believe you're asking the court to treat you as a first offender. Is that correct?
Yes.
At least 3 of the 4 plea deals in the Georgia election indictment have been taken under the First Offender Act. Trump attorney Jenna Ellis's deal is sealed, but as long as Kenneth Chesborough, Scott Hall, and Sidney Powell all complete their probation and pay their fines,
they have the benefit of basically having the entire conviction go away.
Like it never happened, says Georgia State professor Karen Myers Morrison, who drafted plenty of plea deals as a prosecutor in Georgia. Plea deals under the first offender status are tempting, especially for Chesborough and Powell, who are attorneys.
They have gotten, really in some ways, sweetheart deals, you could say. Like, they're not looking at any prison time. They are potentially holding on to their law licenses.
Once their probation is over, they also wouldn't have a conviction looming over them and all the negative consequences that come with it.
Things like effects on your job applications, on your attempts to secure housing.
Military service and loan applications too, says Emory Law fellow Matthew Cavadon, who was also a public defender in Georgia for a time. But for defendants, you only get one chance. The 1960s Georgia law only applies to people who've never used it before. For those involved in the election indictment, it may have been their best move.
As a general matter, you save it for a felony. If you are well into your career, well into adulthood, you don't have anything on your record, and the misdemeanor is something significant around an election conspiracy, that actually might be the case where I'm not at all surprised that you're going to ask for first offender.
Yeah, granted, these are some pretty serious misdemeanors, but there was even talk at Sidney Powell's acceptance of that plea deal here a couple days ago about her possibly even owning a firearm after her probationary period is over. Now, the one crime it does not apply to here in Georgia, driving under the influence. In downtown Atlanta, Doug Reardon, Atlanta News First.
Thank